Anashrita karma bhalam karyam karmas karodiyah sa sanyasi cha yogi cha naniragnirna chakriyah. So we have, up to chapter 6, we have finished one portion of the Gita, as you all know, must be knowing. So next 6 chapters, he's taking up another portion. These are different aspects. So far, he has been talking about Jnana and Karma. Jnana, of course, very, very shortly in the 2nd chapter, as you know, and the rest of it was in as Karma. So what is Lord Krishna's particular message to everyone is that so far everybody, all of us, even now actually, even the present opinion of most people is that sannyasa is far superior to the householder's life of the karma yogi. Actually, Lord Krishna, as you know, totally smashed that idea. He is unique in the way that he said both yoga and sannyasa are equal if it's done properly. And what is Ibhima yoga? Karma yoga. So that has been said throughout the first 6 chapters. So he starts the 6th chapter, even though the 6th chapter is supposed to be Dhyana yoga or Atma Samyama yoga also it's known. He starts with reiterating that what he has been saying all through the first 6 chapters. Anashrita karma phalam karyam karma karodihah sa sanyasi cha yogi cha. Who is the sannyasi? Who is the yogi? They are both the same if they do anashrita karma phalam. That is, without any expectation of the rewards to be got from your karma. He who does his work is both a yogi and a sannyasi. Because nobody can be a sannyasi unless you have gone through karma yoga. You have to, the mind has to be, that's training of the mind is what he talks next in this chapter. So it's very beautifully done. Anashrita karma phalam karyam karma karodiyah sa sanyasi cha yogisha nanirajnat chakriyah. That means some sannyasis, especially in Rishikesh where I come from, it's very obvious. There are so many people hanging around wearing saffron robes, all sitting along the Ganga banks and saying Ram, 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 Ram. But God knows where the minds are, because anyone who passes by, they'll have a little pot in front. Tuk, 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 tuk. They say, put some money over here. So this is the type of sannyasi he's talking about. So he who was not given up the desire for the fruit of action can never be called a sannyasi. And anashrita karma bhalam, without dependence on that karma bhalam which we all expect. He who does karma without that dependence, he is both the sannyasi and the yogi. So that means it follows that he is no sannyasi if he simply wears yellow robes and runs away. It's a form of escapism also. They just run away. Now, agnir na akriha, he is sitting without doing anything. So which he thinks is sannyasa is something, don't do anything. See no evil, hear no evil, but that is not the way they do. They sit without doing anything very good, but they're constantly watching and hearing and thinking and so on and so on. So that is not the sannyasi that he is talking about. And the Agni is, it's a reference to the ancient, the householder had to look after the fire, many fires at the time of born till the time of death. That same fire is taken and to light your fire at the end of your life also. At the time of marriage, that same fire you go around. So that fire is very important for the householder. So he who has given up that fire, simply given up that fire, and sits doing nothing, cannot be called either a sannyasi or a yogi. He is neither. He is a hypocrite. He has already told that in the other things. He is both a hypocrite and a deluder, is what Bhagavan has very clearly said in the previous chapter. He is a hypocrite because he is fooling others, because he is wearing yellow robes, and they are all touching his feet, and he is getting money from all of them. He is also, a deluder, because he is deluding himself also. He thinks he is well up on the high up on the road to sannyas and so on, but he is actually deluding himself also. So in both ways, he is a fake kind of fraud, you can say. So, yam sannyasam praho yogam tam viddhi pandava na hyasya sankalpa sannyasi yogi bhavadi kaschana. Sannyasta sankalpas. Sannyas is what does sannyas mean? To give up. What are you supposed to give up? The first thing that the sannyasi has to give up is sankalpa. This is almost impossible for most people. We live on sankalpas. We try to twist the future with our sankalpas. Because things are, what is your future? Your future is always running towards you. You can't stop it, you can't block it, it will come whether you want it or not. And it will come how? According to the karmas you have done previously and doing now. It is your own karmas which are bringing up the future. Future is not something given by some god somewhere up and as a kismet, what they call kismet, or some very what is mera karma hai ye, tumhara karma hai ye, zaruri, tumhara karma, dusra kuch nahi hai. And that karma means what you have action. Your action is what has produced your present now and what is going to produce your future for you. It is pretty obvious to everyone. That is how the world works. If I eat bad food tomorrow, I have to have a bad stomach tomorrow. But you can't say, why you gave me this terrible pain? Poor God, he's quite innocent of the whole affair. You are the one who is causing all this. Same thing happens to anything that happens to you in the future, anything that's happening to you now. It's all due to you are the only culprit. Or not only the culprit, if it's a bad thing, it's a culprit. But you are the enjoyer who have done good things. You yourself, from whose actions? Your own good actions you are enjoying. Your own bad actions you are being not punished. It is not that you are punished for your actions, but you are being punished by your action. The action itself punishes you or rewards you. Why? Because karma is the law of karma comes under a natural law. It's a natural law. It is the third law of motion. The third law of motion. What is the third law of motion? Every action has its equal and opposite reaction. Isn't it? So, whose action? Your action. Your every action should have an equal and opposite reaction. But in the human being, it's a bit more complicated because it's not only your physical action which makes your karma for you, which makes your future for you, but your attitude, your mental attitude and your motivation. The motivation, the actual karma may be very violent, as in the case of Arjuna. Battlefield, warring against who? His own relations. What could be more terrible than that? He sure to be bound very badly. No. Why? If he will not be bound if he is not attached to him when he has surrendered. He has surrendered totally to his thing. So he is prepared. He has told him, Jaya, Ajaya, whether it's victory or failure, don't bother about that to Arjuna. You just have to do your duty as a Kshatriya, which is to fight for the sake of Dharma. That's all you have to do. Similarly, all of us, we have to, that law is it's an impersonal law. You cannot get away from it. Whatever you do, as you sow, so you will reap. If you sow some grass seeds, can you expect a rose bush? It's absurd. That's what we are expecting. We think we can subvert the law, we can twist the law, and we can twist the law of human laws, but you cannot twist divine laws. Natural laws cannot be twisted. It's a natural law, so that every action has its own equal and opposite reaction, and that action in the human being is a mental action. Therefore, who is a sannyasi? Sarva sankalpa sannyasi. Who has given up all sankalpa. What does that mean? Half our time in this world is spent feeling sad over the past. Oh dear, I should not have done that, and I should have done like this, and half of the time is like that. The rest of the time is, now what will I do? If I do this, I will get that, and if I do that. The typical story of the milkmaid, she carries the milk on her. And when I sell this, and I'll sell double the cost, and then I'll get more milk, and I'll buy more milk, and I'll get double and double and double and double, and down the pot breaks and that's the end of the story. Similarly, the same thing is our whole life is like that. If we are not worrying about the past, we are worrying about the future, which is not in your hands in any case. It is in the hands of a cosmic law. You have no control over it. You think you are controlling it. The only way you can control if you make your actions today good. If your motivation is good, your motivation and your attitude is correct, then law will take over. You don't have to do anything. Sit back, relax, have a good time, enjoy this present moment. Who enjoys the present moment? Present is already gone and the future is rushing towards us at such a fast pace. This, as I speak in this present, is also gone into the past. That present also we cannot enjoy because of our worry of what is happening in the future. So as Bhagavan has again and again reiterated throughout the 6 chapters, the 5 chapters, that you are not, don't bother about anything, Arjuna. The whole of nature has given you only one one right, and that is to do your duty. You have not been given any other right. You have no other rights at all. We are demanding our rights. So many people, women demand rights for their equal rights and workers demand equal rights. So many people demand. According to Bhagavan, he says you have only one right. God has given, not God, nature, natural law has given you just one right. That is to do your duty. If you do your duty, automatically that law will come into play. And automatically you will get your just rewards. Everybody gets what he deserves. Neither more nor less. Nobody can say, poor me, I'm so good. And yet look what hard luck for me. My dear, if you had been good, maybe you are good now. Then your future will be good. But if had you been good before, you would have enjoyed a good life now. Obviously you have not been good before. That's why you are having some problems now. So nobody can say, I don't deserve. Everyone deserves whatever they get. Neither more nor less. So this is because it's a perfect law of karma, a perfect natural law which you cannot go against, you cannot fight against, it will happen whether you want it or not. So why are you bothering about the future is his question. Why the sankalp? What does sankalp mean? You are imagining something which you want from the future. That is sankalp. You are trying to, in other words, you are trying to interfere with the working of the natural law by putting forth your little, these things and so on. So there is no person. Who is a real sannyasi? He who has given sarva sankalpa sannyasi. Sarva sankalpa sannyasi. Who has given up all sankalp, he is the sannyasi. Understand? So beautifully he's brought it down. I know it's a very difficult thing to do, but we have to practice. That is the glory of the Gita. No talking is going to help you with it. If you chant it, you're all sitting here and chanting it every Sunday and every day in your house, you all know it by heart. Do you put it into practice one bit even? Have you given up your sankalpas? Have you given up your desire for the fruit of action? This is a simple thing which is 2 words actually which should be brought out again and again in the Gita. Sarva sankalpa sannyasi and sarva arambha parityagi. These 2 he keeps on reiterating and nobody bothers about it. Sarva arambha parityagi means he who has stopped making decisions about how I should do, what I should do and this and that. The other one, that is arambha, that is that sense of agency in every action. That is, I am the doer. I am the doer. Who are you? Who are you to claim that you are the doer? Huh? Have you ever even thought about it? In one of the verses he says, what is it? Ahankara vimudhatma kartahamidi manyade. Ahankara vimudhatma. He is so filled with ego. Vimudham. He is totally bewildered. Because his great ahankara of his ego, ahankara vimudhatma, Kartahamani madhyade. I did that. Oh, yes. Yeah, thank you. Yes, I did. If it's something wrong, of course, he'll say, no. That man told me to do it. That's why I did it, not me. So, this ahankara vimudhatma we all are. We claim that this is mine, I have done this. We claim the agency. Now, there is, sometimes when I've read, strangely enough, if somebody, there's some, some thing is, they set off some, they dynamite something or they kill people, they all rush to say claim. Some of the things say, we did it. Strangely enough. Similarly, this we also claim that this is our action, this is our desire, I have done it. If you have claimed that, naturally you will be punished for it, or you will get the reward also, no doubt. The law of karma is very, very fair. If you have done a good action, you will get the reward. If you have done a bad action, you will get the bad effect. That is the law of karma. So, that desire in us to claim that I am the doer, that is taken away by the tyagi, the karma yogi. The yogi has has all rights to claim agency. The agent of this action, I am the agent of this action. If you claim to be the agent of that, you have to be punished for it. Automatically it will be that you should be. On the contrary, if you think that you have given over the agency as well as the fruits of the action to that divine law which operates everywhere and which doesn't need any help from you, my dear, doesn't need any help from you, that if you have given over, he is both the sannyasi and the tyagi. That's what the very first verse, beautifully, all these ideas should come up in us when we read the very first verse of this amazing chapter. Anashrita karma bhalam karyam karma karodyaha. Without any desire for that karma bhala, fruits of the karma, he who does his karma, sa sannyasi, he is a sannyasi, cha yogi cha, he is both the sannyasi and the yogi. Naniragnirna cha akriya, not the one who sits quietly and says, no, I'm not doing anything, I don't do anything, I've given up all action. I've given up all action. I've given up my wife and children whom I married on this thing of the fire, in front of the fire. I've given her up. Because there's a very good story once. When people go to Gaya, they're supposed to give up something or other. So these people had gone and many people gave it. And this man was asked, what are you giving? He said, I'm giving up my wife. So that is the sort of people that we are. So that is nanirna chakriyaha. Yam samyasamidi praho yogam tam vidhi pandava. Na hyanyasya sankalpo yogi bhavadi kaschana. Yam sanyasamidi praho yogam tam vidhi pandava. Again he reiterates. That which you think of sannyas is also yoga. That means the karma yogi as well as the karma sannyasi is same. Na hyasanyasta sankalpo yogi bhavadi kaschana. Yogi, in a person can never become a yogi until he has given up sankalpa, which I have already talked about. Unless you give up sankalpa, that is, you're trying to poke your agency into the future, which is not in your control in any case. All you can do is to do the present work well as it should be done. That's all you are asked to do. But no, we try to subvert the future also. So that he says, yogi bhavada kasina. Now this is another word. Aruruksho muner yogam karma karanam uchyade. Yoga rudasya dasyaiva shamak karanam uchyade. This is very, number of commentators have given many things about this. But this is very sweet thing about this particular verse is Aruruksho muner yogam karma karanam uchyade. This is a kind of a simile given by a man who is trying to control a very new, highly spirited horse. Let's say the mind is actually is thought about a highly spirited horse. He's trying to control it. What does this man do? First, he's trying his best. So he's just going on the path of karma and yoga and so on. He'll put one foot on the stirrup and the other foot will be on the ground. And as the horse is driving him, not he driving the horse. And then he'll keep on, at last, with a great effort, he will throw his foot over the horse, and when the horse is under both his things, that right, then Anuruksho Mune Yogi. That is, so having control, Anuruksho Mune Yogam Karma Karma, till that horse is totally controlled, you have to keep on practicing karma. Karma yoga has to be done by the person until he has definitely controlled that wicked seed of his mind, who's always trying to throw him out. Until he has controlled that seed of his mind, he has to practice karma yoga, that is. That is the beginning stages. You have to do karma yoga. There is no way out of it. That means without desire for the personal rewards which you get from the karma, you have to keep on doing karma. That really cleanses you of all the dirt and accumulation of past vasanas. There's one thing which we do. Ayuruksho Munir Yogam Karma Karna. Yoga Rudasya Daseva Shamak Karna. Having attained that state of mind, which is you are in control of that mind, Shamak Karana Uchade, after that, you really don't have to go around doing so much karma. Maybe it becomes habit and you can keep on doing, not that. But actually, if you want to go higher, you have to Shamak Karana Uchade, you have to practice certain amount of tranquility. You have to promote some sort of meditation techniques, and not always, going into the din and clamor of life all the time. You have to Shamak Karana Uchade. Having attained that, you have to practice some sort of quietude and meditation and some other practices. That is why he gives this particular thing. Yadahi Nandeyadeshu Karma Anushajjade Sarva Sankalpa Sanyasi Yoga Rura. So again and again he gets that word. Yadahi Naindriyarteshu Na Karma Svanushajjade. Anushajjade. Shajjade means attracted or bound. Sajjade. He does not even say sajjade. Anushajjade. He who has no more desires for those desire objects. He who is no longer attracted by the objects, who is also not attracted by so many karmas, so many things. I do this, I do that, I do social work, I do take up painting, and sometimes we go all over the place. So many things. I'm doing very lot of charity work, and so on and so forth. Now this man, Ayuruksha, he's already climbed up the world. He's controlled his mind. You will find there is a kind of a aversion both to the objects of the senses as well as to the karma itself, because he needs some shanti for that, for him to go further. So Anushajjade, that a desire-oriented this thing, we're always continuously running after these sense objects and all the time. So that Anushajjade is always, such with great force we go after this. Yadahi Nandiyes Karma Anushajjade Sarva Sankalpa Sanyasi Yoga Rura. Therefore, this sannyasi again, who is a sannyasi, who is a yoga ruda, who has gone to the top of yoga, he is a one who has given up all sankalpas. Sannyasi means giving up. Sarva sankalpa sannyasi. He has given up all sankalpas. That means he just waits ready. Things will come to you whether you want it or not. Today came, tomorrow it will come, and thereafter. Sun will rise and sun will set. You have no control over these things, my dear. You think you can control. Luckily for us, we can't control the sun rising and setting. Otherwise, we try to control. We have tried, tried spoiling everything that nature has given us. We have spoiled the rivers, we have spoiled the oceans, we are spoiling the air, we are spoiling space, we are spoiling the earth. If you could control that fire element in us is the sun. If we could control, we control that also. But luckily for us, we cannot control. And the air also, we cannot at the moment. We are, of course, polluted, but we can't stop others from breathing. That much you can pollute, we pollute. But somehow, luckily for us, the sun is not. So that sankalpa, the sannyasi, is the one who has given up all sankalpas. He allows the cosmos to do its work as it should be done. Nobody has worries like us, No animal worries like us. Because They're happy with whatever they have. They know that tomorrow is sun will rise. So, and tomorrow some food they will get. They go around looking for their food and they pack and eat what they have. And when night comes, they go to sleep. Not us. No, we have to meddle. You have to meddle in whatever nature has given us and try to force her to give more. And now she's hitting back at us, which she will, and she will win in the end. It may take eons, it may take thousands of years, but she will win in the end. She has wiped out huge creatures like dinosaurs and all that. You think she won't wipe us out? We are well on the way to extinction, I tell you that. Who is giving it to us? We ourselves are making this karma for us. We are well on the way to extinction. Look at the way that we are ill-treating the 5 elements out of which we are made out of. So, there Sarva Sankalpa Sanyasi Yoga Rudha Sadochide. He is the height of yoga has been reached only by that who has given up all sankalpa. Uddare Atmanam avasadayed. Atmaiva Atmano Bandhur Atmaiva Ribur Atmanaha. So this is again, he is saying, you must raise yourself by yourself, because you should not degrade yourself by yourself, because your own self is both your enemy and your friend. What does he mean by that? Now if you put the thing like higher self and lower self, or personality, or the divine spark in us, there is something in us always which actually can, if we remain quietly and seated and wait, this is something we can, Sai Baba always says, Shraddha and Saburi. We have neither. So how can we neither do that, what he says is Shraddha. You should do everything you have to do with great Shraddha. Anything, even in sweeping, you do sweeping. And not like a maid who will lift up the carpet and put all the dust and earth and put like that. Not like that. Every bit of it, even the tiniest bit of work you're doing, do it Shraddha. Do it as if the Divine Himself is your guest. He's coming tomorrow to your house. If that is done with Shraddha, then wait. Don't say, I've done everything. Now, where's my result? I have to get what I want. No way. Then you have to wait. You understand? Wait patiently, because everything in nature takes its own time. You cannot twist or blow on a rosebud, and make it bloom. It will take its own sweet time. Same with the fetus. Of course, nowadays, almost when it's ready, we can cut open. That's so in such a hurry. Recently, a friend, one of the girls who were working, her husband kept on saying, do a cesarean section, do. So she kept on ringing me up, what should I do? He says, I said, don't be stupid. The baby knows when he has to come out. You don't have to bother about it. Babies have been being born for thousands of years with no help from all of you. So you please just say your prayers and sit quietly. This is the thing, we try to meddle with the forces of nature. So he says, Atmanam asadayam. Atmaiva Hyamna. This is the thing, that aspect of us, that personality aspect of us, always trying to push us into this and this is good and that is bad. But there is an inner voice also which is always saying, what is the type of work that if we only had the patience to sit down quietly for some minutes and let us listen, with Shraddha, let us listen. But even then when you sit for meditation, it's very difficult to know what this person is thinking of when they are meditating. The mind is like an untrained horse. That's why he uses that word. Untrained horse. You can never know. So once that mind is Aruruksho Munir Yogi, who has controlled the mind, then for him it is very easy to sit and meditate. And such a mind, that divine voice will be heard. Only in a clear, when you go in the Himalayas, there are these lakes, glacial lakes. There is not even a ripple in them. And at the background, these huge snow peaks, exactly mirrored in that lake. Exact. You look down, you don't know whether you're looking here or there. Which is real, which is not real, you don't know. So in that clear mirror of the mind, which has been calmed and is all ready, in such a mind, that divine voice will be heard very clearly. That divine, such a person, and the person who listens to that voice, who allows his lower instinct to be controlled by the I, he is the friend. Then the I becomes his friend. Otherwise he thinks the highest is my enemy. I want to do this, and always that, I'm thinking I should not do that, I should do the other one. So your own self is both your bandhu as well as your shatru. Both my friend and my enemy. Because when the thing is, the higher self is always ready to give you advice. Always ready. It's not like, it's as if you don't even have to ask for it. It's like the Ganga waters are constantly flowing there. But if you go with one small bottle, you'll get only one small bottle. If you got 5 liters, this thing, you will get 5 liters. If you put a pipe into your garden, then you get constant flow there, isn't it? Similarly, there's always divine self is always talking to you, always ready to give, always flowing with the correct idea. But if that lower self is blocking it and is not interested in listening to it, then how can? So that same self becomes both an enemy and a friend. But that the other one has to be ready and receptive to the voice of that higher. Bandhur atmatmanastasya yenatmaiva atmanishitha anatmanastu shatrutve varted atmani shatruvada. So anatmanajita, so that he is the shatru, which I've already explained this. He is the enemy of the one who has not conquered his own self. His lower self has not been conquered, and therefore the lower self shuts out the noise of this thing. Sometimes, when you want to listen to or read some good book or listen to some good music, there's a huge clatter going on by the children with the TV, loud, first top volume, and you just can't hear that beautiful music you are trying to listen to. Similarly, the clatter and chattering of this mind, of the lower mind, constant chattering, never stops chattering. When that chattering is at full volume, how can you hear the sound or the advice of that higher self? Anatmanastu shatrutve tarte anatmani shatru. Jidatmana prashantasya paramatma samahida shidoshna sugadukkeshu yada mana apamanayoho. So what is the qualifications of such a person who has conquered his own lower mind and who his divine self is in control of it? That same thing is iterated. There's a qualification of the karma yogi, qualification of the siddha prajna, the qualification of the jnana yogi, all these exactly the same. That is to say, shida, ushna, sugha, dukkha, mana, apamana. Now in this, he has divided this person into 3. That is, we are body, mind and intellect actually. The external, this thing in us. So externally, you are impervious to heat and cold. That obviously refers only to the body. Only the body can shiver with cold and perspire with the heat. The mind cannot do that. So Shidoshna refers to the body. So the body of the yogi is in perfect control. He doesn't care. Like us, oh my, lights have gone on. Last time when I was here, the lights went out. There was no fan. There was no this thing. There was no, nothing was there. But thank God, all of you were such good siddha prajna. Shidoshna, sugadukeshu. Nobody bothered. So you have control of your body already. Shidoshna, sugadukeshu. What is it that feels sukha and asukha, have joy and sorrow? The mind. The body feels it only because of the mind. So sukha dukkeshu refers to the mental sheath. He's talking first of all the physical sheath, then the mental sheath, sukha dukkeshu, tada mana apamanayo. What is mana apamana? Honor and dishonor. That applies to the intellectual sheath. So some people may, this thing, they may be in control of their body also. They can, some martyrs and all, they can endure so much of pain and all that to their body. But but when it comes to this thing of their honor or the honor of the country or the something of that, then they will break down. So that's the intellectual sheath. Honor and dishonor refers to that. That this man has, the Yogaruda has conquered all these 3 sheaths in him. Sorry. Oh dear, this is very cold. Bring my... So, Jnana Vijnana Triptatma Kudastha Vijitendriyaha Yukta Ityuchade Yogi Samalashtash Ashma Kanchanaha. Jnana Vijnana Triptatma. Jnana and Vijnana. Also different. Theoretical physics and practical physics. That's what he said. Theory and practice. That is, he who not only knows the theory or jnana, but Vijnana also. That is, he has put it into practice in his own life. He knows, with experience he knows, who is that higher self in me? Who am I? Who is the doer? Vijnana, he knows he is not only a great pandit. Those jnanis are called as pandits. They can give you a lot of advice on so many things and they talk, but you go and see the houses or how they behave. You realize that Vijnana is not, he has not experienced, he has not practiced what he is preaching. So that here Jnana, that's why each line, each word of the Gita is so amazing, everything has a meaning. So he who has both Jnana as well as Vijnana, Triptatma, therefore he is satisfied, totally Tripti. No more he can. The Tripti word is a beautiful one. It's as if, when you give people something to eat and they say, I just can't eat one morsel more. I'm full. Tripti, finished. Kudastha Vijitendriya. He has controlled his Indriyas. The Indriyas, of course, are the ones which are this thing. Because mind goes out through the Indriyas. 5 senses. Mind goes out through the Indriyas and grabs hold of the objects of the senses from outside. So when the mind is in control, Jitendriya he becomes, isn't it? He has conquered his Indriyas. Jitendriya. Jnana Vijnana Kudastha. What does Kuda mean? Kuda is there. Anvil. Anvil? The very heavy stone or a block of iron. In olden days, they used to hammer metals on that to make them blend, to make them malleable. A horseshoe or any metal. You bring it, they didn't have other methods of doing it. So they hit hard on that. Now what is the qualification of a Kuda? That anvil. The anvil remains totally detached from all this. This man, the man must be banging like crazy on top of it. It does not change, but it can make others to change. Isn't it? All the metals which are put on it. That it becomes malleable, it's molded into different shapes and so on by this man who is banging on it. The anvil does not change. That's why a particular example of the anvil is taken by him. Kudastha Jitendra. He is like that. Therefore he is Vijitendra. He is a Jitendra. He has conquered his senses. Yukta Ichyute Yogi Samalashtaashma Kanchanaha. Yukta, he is united with that. Yogis, he is the same to him whether it is a lump of mud, a clod, that is a clod, Ashma Kanjana, whether it is mud or stone or a block of gold, whether it's gold or rock or mud, same to him. Not that this man is also a clod who doesn't know the difference between mud and gold. He knows very well. There's no problem with that. It's just that he has found the most wonderful thing in life. Having discovered that which gives bliss all the time. These things, gold and all that, why is gold so important to us? Because it's very rare. Anything that very rare is very, very costly. If gold was like sand or pebbles on the beach, then who will care for gold? Nobody will care. Because it is rare that we want it. It's all in the mind, isn't it? So this man, he has got the rarest of all experiences. Therefore, he is not interested in those ordinary baubles of the world which people run after. There's a very interesting story about a yogi who was sitting there near a river. And his disciple, very rich disciple, he came with a great thing. He said, Master, I got the most beautiful, biggest natural pearls in the world. Very, very expensive, so good. But I've got it because I laid it at his feet. And unfortunately, one rolled away into the river. This poor disciple was desperate. He jumped into the river and tried to, is it there, can you find it? Is there something? He was so desperate. At last, almost half dying, he came up and said, I can't find it. Master, did you see it? So the master said, I think it's there. And he took the other one and threw it there. It's somewhere there. So, he is the child. Kodastha, Jitendriya, he exactly the same. It's a clod of mud or a rock or a block of, nugget of gold. Makes no difference to him because he knows the value of the most valuable thing in the world he has already got. Why should he bother about these things? So, please tell me a time if you have. Suhrin Mitra Udasina Madhyastha Dveshabandhushu Sadhushvapicha Bhabeshu Samabuddhir Vishishyade. So this is the different types of how we judge people. We see when we're walking, we see someone there. It's either a friend or a foe or either neither. Or Suhrin Mitra Udasina Madhyastha Dvesha, or something really inimical to you, or something. That's how we decide. When we see someone, we make instant. It's all done automatically. Instantly, the intellect will see what sort of a person you are meeting. Or this man does not differentiate like that. But because it's the same to him, whoever comes, enemy, saint, sinner, whatever it is, makes no difference. He sees the divinity in that person. He doesn't see the external personality. He sees the divinity in that person, and therefore to him all these people are the same. That's another beautiful example given in all the other things also. The Jnani also, the Siddhapratnya also, all of them you see that same equality of vision, equilibrium of the mind. These two things which Bhagavan keeps on reiterating. For the true yogi, what is the greatness, what is the hallmark of a true yogi? Equality of vision. He doesn't see this one as that and that and this. He sees only that divine playing in so many forms. So many forms. Today you are coming as my killer. Tomorrow you might come as my friend. Another day you might come as my enemy. Another day you come as my child. Another day you come as my wife or my husband. It makes no difference to this man. He sees only the divine. So that's equality of mind, and the equilibrium of the mind and equality of vision is something which Bhagavan is constantly reiterating in every chapter. Remember these things. These are very important aspects. Equanimity of the mind, samastam yoga uchyade, samatvam yoga uchyade is what is it? That means equality of the mind. That is yoga. And equilibrium of the mind and equality of vision. Only if you have equilibrium of the mind can you have equality of vision. Then only you will see that everything is the divine having so many different forms. The beautiful Puranas, many, all out, because the force is only one. There's only one force, there are not two forces. And that force, somehow it appears as in the world of duality. We live in a world of duality. Sorrow, joy, happiness, this thing, night, day, all these. But it's the same force. It's not two forces working. The same force which is working in both. So he who sees that same force in the face of the sinner as well as the saint, he sees the same force in a friend or foe. He makes no differentiation because he sees only this thing. You see, like he gives another example, the goldsmith. Goldsmith, you may go with some jewelry, big block of jewelry. You want to sell it. Goldsmith looks at it and doesn't look at the pattern and so on. He simply weighs the gold. To him only the gold is there. He is not interested in the pattern. Similarly, this man sees only that gold, that divine which is everywhere. He is not bothered about the different forms, necklace or earring or toe ring or nose ring. He is not bothered. He sees everything as the same. Yogi, Unjita, Sadhushya Vabeshu, Samabuddhir Vishishyade. He who can see the equality of in everyone, he says, such a Vishishyade, such a person is indeed a yoga ruda. He is the one who has attained the heights of yoga and is indeed very wonderful. Yogi Ujida Sadatam Atmanam Rahasisyadaha Egagi Yadachittatma Nirashir Abarigraha. So next he will go on to actual explanation how the whole of Gita is one thing. What a few, only this one chapter he will give you actual thing which you are supposed to do, how to sit and how to meditate, how to say. He never goes on and on. Whole Gita is only what? Inner thing, what is happening inside your mind, that is what you are supposed to control. This is only an external aid to you. What is happening you have to keep on doing it all. The yukta, that's why that word yukta is there. Yukta aharasya viharasya, in this chapter itself will come. Yukta ahara viharasya, that means whether you are eating or not eating, if you are doing exercise or not exercising, if you are walking or not walking, if you are, whatever you are doing, you are relaxing or not, whatever you are doing, yukta. Some commentators say yukta means you should be, do calmly and everything should be equalized. But to me, yukta, because yukta he has mentioned so many times. What does yukta mean? It comes from the word yuj, means unite. So he who is united with that divine all the time, 24 hours of the day. Bhagavan is not a very forceful lover he is. He wants a 24-hour affair we should have with him. Not just here and now. Not a few minutes I go to a temple on Fridays or something, I come to Gitaashrama on Sundays. Not that. 24/7 are you always united with him is the question. That's why the Vanamali essays on the Gita is known as Nitya Yoga. Nitya Yoga. It is a constant yoga of constant communion with him. Every second, every minute, constant communion with that Supreme. So, Egagi Yogi Ujjita Sadam Atmanam Rahasisyadaha Egagi Yadhishatma Nirashir Abarigraha. So he should be in a state before you start. Many people who say, people who have been living in some ashrams for years, Mataji, I have been meditating for 25 years, but nothing has happened. So I say, bad luck. What about you? You got your food and all that, good sleeping place and all that, isn't it? Yeah, that's okay. Then that's all you are meant to have, but obviously you are not interested in what the ashram has to actually offer you. So you have to do certain yogi, Yujjita Sadam Atmanam Rahasisyada. At that time of this thing, Egagi, you have to go to a quiet and sequestered place. You have to take certain precautions because, especially in the beginning, afterwards he says, Muktahara Viharasya. Because after that, anything you do, that constant thought must be there. But in the beginning, you have to take some, you can't go and sit in the middle of the bazaar and try to meditate. It's really not good. It won't work. So, you have to yogi ujisadam egagi yadachittatma. Egagi, preferably in solitude. Of course, group meditation has its benefits, I'm not saying that. But here he is talking about that yogi who has reached a certain level. But for him, actually, a certain amount of solitude is very necessary. Because other people also, their vibrations will also affect if you are doing group meditation. Normally it's very good, for ordinary person it's okay. But that man who has reached a certain level, he goes to in his own room or some other place, whatever he wants, and yegagi, yadachittatma inashir abarigraha, and his mind must be free of desires, of this sankalpas. The sankalpas goes on all the time. All the time we have sankalpas. That one I must do, this one I have to do, that one, this sankalpa, that should not be there in the mind of the meditating yogi. Only then that meditation will be something. And of course he gives very shujau deshe pradishtaya siram atmanah natyuchidam nadinicham shairajanam kushotaram. He said, first of all, you choose a nice sing place, shujau deshe, it must be clean, obviously. In Rishikesh, I'll tell you another thing. There was a foreigner, Westerner, who came and he threw his passport into the Ganga. Then he made a little tent where, in the middle of where the auto rickshaw stand. very good place for meditation. In the middle of the auto rickshaw stand, he sat there and inhaling all these fumes. So that sort of thing, I mean, he doesn't care for. He says, Shujaudesha Pradishtaya Siram Atmanam Attichidam Nadinijam. Shouldn't be too high or too low. Some people in places like Rishikesh are very eager to meditate near the Ganga. So then very few flat rocks, even the rocks will be like this. So they'll go and perch themselves on top of a rock overlooking the Ganga. And it's a very, very shaky sort of a perch. So that he's giving very, very practical hints on how one should meditate. This is first of all, he should place a deer skin of that of a deer which has died a natural death. That's very important. Very important. Nowadays people, they kill deers and get this thing that you can always look out for the bullet mark actually. Kushotaram, on top of that, underneath is the kusha grass. It is a natural conductor of electricity and all that. And then also it takes away the insects and stuff like that. Then on top of that is the deer skin. On top of that you see one other cloth also is put. Otherwise deer skin will poke you from one. So he gives a few practical hints. You will find that such hints are very, very, only here you have find. All other hints he has given in every chapter again and again and again. What is it? Sarva Arambha Parityagi, Sarva Sankalpa Sanyasi. He who has given up all agency that I am the doer, and who has given up also what should I get from this, that sort of thought, what am I going to do, that thoughts of this. So that he tells them. But you might say, oh, all these instructions are okay for people who are meditating in outside in the not for us. We have 24 on top of a 24 story. This thing we are meditating water, and no insect is supposed to come anywhere near. If you see one insect, damn, you bring it. My sister goes with a fly, this thing whisk, doom, doom, doom. I just jump up in my head when I see that. So we don't tolerate any such other creatures except us. We are the only ones who should live in this world. No other creature has a business to live in this world. So all these instructions cannot refer to us, you might say. You must make your own. You don't need all that if you don't. But at least one thing you can do, get a good sitting place, and one cloth at least or one asana you keep on top, which you must keep always, because when you meditate, that energy is not lost otherwise. Every day you have a new asana, that means that energy is a waste of that energy. Keep at least one cloth. Even I always say even a cloth, because even if you are traveling, that cloth can be taken wherever you go. The energy actually comes into the piece of cloth or whatever it is. So that much at least we can do. Doesn't matter about Jairajinam and Kushotaram and all, you don't have, don't worry, bother about it. Okay? Upavishyanti, Yujya, Yoga, Atma Vishuddhaya. And then you should practice this meditation or whatever it is. You should close your eyes. Atma Vishuddhaya, that which will totally cleanse your whole personality. How are we off for? 5 minutes. Only 5. Then we'll stop and then we can ask 1 or 2 questions if you want. Okay? And I'm sure I've gone over. I don't know which verse this is. Samamgaya. Huh? 15. I don't know. I was told 1 to 7 or something. I'm sorry. I was told 1 to 7. I won't say who said it. Anyway, this is what I said. I hope it's of benefit to you and whatever. So we can stop here. And remember that the main thing is that Sarva Sankalpa as well as Yukta, always in constant union with that divinity. Now, these 2 are most important things of this chapter. The other things are actually, the rest of it is easy. So we'll stop and then we can ask the questions. Oh, Uh-huh.
Verse 15. You're supposed to explain to us verse 15.
The first 15.
Can you just give an overview?
So first 15 verses. Oh, okay. Where are we now? Okay. Okay, you are 13 now. Oh, that's easy enough. Very easy. Yoga Atma. Samam kaya shirogrivam dharayan achalan siram sampreksha nasikagram sam. This is said analogam. Samam, this is very important. That means the spinal column, neck and head should be erect. It does not matter even if you sit on a chair. He does not say you have to be, he never gives such, this, but this is very important. Where you are not slovenly leaning back on a chair like that and then, samam kaya, samam kaya shiro grivam. That means the neck, head and the spinal column should be erect. Because the energy flows up the spinal column. And it has to reach the Sahasrara. So if you are somehow bent like that and all that, it is not going to work. So please see to it that you sit in a straight position. Dharayan achalan sarvan. Don't keep looking here and there. Even though you're in a good position, all the time looking, what's happening here, what's happening here? No. Sampreksha nasikagram sam. Just close your eyes and the inner gaze should be somewhere. No, he never says you have to squint your eyes like that. So you close your eyes and inner gaze is towards this. Sampreksha nasikagram. Sampreksha nasikagram. This is anavalokam. And then after that, don't go looking here and there. Just silently. Prashantatma vigadabhir brahmachari hriday siddha manas samyamya machitto yukta asida matparaha. Yukta again. Prashantatma vigadabhir. A peaceful, composed state. Not that, don't put the milk on the boil in this thing and come and quickly I'll do a little bit of meditation while the milk boils. Not like that. It should be prashantatma. For the time being at least, you should be free of worries and so on. Vigadabhi, fearless. There's another thing. Don't go and sit in a jungle because jungle, everybody, all the rishis meditated only in jungle. So I too will go into a jungle and meditate. And then, it's going to be very unhappy end for you if you go into a jungle and meditate. So bigger the bhi, you should be fearless at that. Brahmachari Sridhar Vradaha. At that time at least you must be perfect brahmacharya or perfect concentration. Not just brahmacharya, not just something to do with sex. Brahmacharya is when the whole energy is concentrated and on this brahmachari, Hriday Siddha. Manas samyamya machitto yukta asida matparaha. Mana samyamya. It's all, the mind is being withdrawn into its own self. Machitta, thinking only of me. Yukta asida matparaha. Constantly thinking only of me. I told you, Bhagavan is a very, very jealous lover. You cannot think of anybody else, nothing else. Only he should be the most important thing in your life, whatever you are doing. Actually, it's not as difficult as you think it is. When someone is in love, say, it is difficulty not to think of the beloved. Before marriage, I am talking about. See, when they are dating, say, then he's sitting in the office and thinking, I wonder what she's doing now. Very easy to think of. Because he's fully in love with that beloved. Same, if we are totally in love with that supreme cosmic beloved, what is the difficulty in thinking about him? Absolutely no difficulty. It's only when our senses are running outside to various different things that there is a difficulty in all this. So in that he says, Prashantamai, Vigadabi, Brahmachari says, Manas samyamachita yukta asida matparaha. Think of me alone and be united with me alone and sit like that. Yunjaneva sadatmanam yogi niyadam atmanah shantim nirvana paramam mat samstam idigachadi. Such a person who is sitting in that, he united with me, yogi niyadam manasaha, totally in control of his mind. Shantim nirvana paramam, he has got the highest nirvana paramam. Now the nirvana of the Sanatana Dharma is totally different from the Buddhist nirvana actually. Buddhists also talk about nirvana. Nirvana of the Buddhists is a shunya. It's a state where nothing exists. Where the nirvana of which we say about is purna. It is full of bliss. It's purna. The other is shunya. So shantim, nirvana, but that's why that's one exchange, because you're telling the mind actually, look, the mind will say, why should I do all this? Oh, so many nice things outside. I can go and enjoy myself. No. Shantim nirvana paramam is what you're going to get, oh mind. So do all what I'm telling you, do that and you will get that bliss which inexplicable. You cannot know that such a bliss. No, nothing that the world can give you, can ever give you that bliss. Shantim nirvana paramam mat samstabhi gacchati, and eventually you will reach me. Yogosti na chaiga agantascha natyascha dastu yogosti na chaiga anta banascha na chabi sapnashirasya jagrado naiva Arjuna yuktahara viharasya yukta cheshtasya karmasu yukta swapnavabodhasya yogi bhavadi dukkha. What is that? That is great thing that is offered to this wonderful yogi. Dukkha. Then no, he will not be affected by any. Before that also once he says, Gurunabhi vijanati, even the greatest of sorrow cannot shake such a yogi. Somehow that is unshakable. That means he has gone beyond dualities, that's what it means. We are always under the sway of duality. This yogi has gone beyond. He says one other time, different olden days when we had houses of our own, we used to have a name for each house. Some Shanti Alayam and something Alayam and Kamalalayam and whatnot. So this Bhagavan says once, if you want to have a name for this particular planet, it's Dukkhalayam. Because from the time you are born, some sorrow. In fact, you come out with a cry because you know you are coming into Dukkhalayam. That's why. And if you don't cry, the doctor will take you and give you one hard smack so that you will cry. You must know from the time you are born that you are coming into Dukkhalayam. So this is how he says, this is the name of this planet is Dukkhalayam. So he says, Anitya, Dukkha, Samyoga, Viyoga, Yoga Samchidam. So he Yuktahara Viharasya, Yukta Cheshtasya Karmasu, Yukta Swapnavabodhasya, Yogo Bhavati Dukkha. So he says the yoga is not one for him who eats too much or doesn't eat at all. Some people, I'm a yogi, I won't eat that, I never eat at all. In fact, I don't like food. And then on the other side, when nobody is watching, he's gobbling away something or other. And outside, no, I don't eat at all. So he said, neither for whom he eats too much or doesn't eat at all, neither I never sleep. I sleep very little. But half the time I'm sitting and meditating. So he says, Swapna Shilasya Jagrado Naiva Arjuna. It is not for one who doesn't sleep at all, nor for one who is always, awake. Yuktahara Viharasya, as I told you, whatever you do, whether you're doing some recreation activity, or you're doing some other work, or you are sleeping, or you are awake, whatever you do, the fact is joined with that. You have one constant companion. That's the only companion you will ever have. Many people, in ashram, I can see people come and say, Mataji, what do you think? I mean, can I have what is that? What is that word? I forget. What is that? A companion? What companion? You know that? Soulmate. What do you think of soulmates? So I said, there is only one soulmate for this Jivatma, and that is the Paramatma. There's no other soulmate. So they are a bit disappointed when they go back. Because obviously he found someone who he thinks is a soulmate. So Dukkena Guruna Vijayana Vidyad. So after having reached that person, finished? Okay. Thanks for telling me. I can go on forever on the Gita, Anyway, we have another session on Wednesday, for questions and answers. So that's right. Okay, so we'll stop here then. And Om Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhav Bhaved Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tatsat Loka Samastat Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samastat Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samastat Sukhino Bhavantu Hari Om Tatsat.